All right, don't mind if I do. Greetings, everyone. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad that you are here. Today's jank is actually an historic, and we are trying to do some more budget stuff. This one is more along the lines of some of our more recent budget decks. Back when we first started doing budget decks, we were trying to stick to only commons and uncommons. And it's true that this deck could be built in that fashion, but there's some fun things you can do if you just throw a couple of rares at the deck. Notably, we are also running some rare lands, and specifically the Hive of the Eye Tyrants are barely, are just luxury. I don't even know how often we're going to be attacking with them, but considering we intend to draw plenty of cards with these cards, and we'll talk about them in a minute, it is entirely reasonable, but you can absolutely build without this. We are also running a few rare dual lands, and, they can be very difficult to craft, I'll admit. But as far as I'm concerned, what's worse than playing bad cards? Well, the answer to that is very easy. Playing no cards, right? So when your budget deck gets stuck, not even being able to cast your commons and uncommons, and then your opponent just slams mythic after mythic after mythic, and you're sitting here waiting on your extra color or something, it's really, really brutal. So I have elected to go with some of these rare lands. You can substitute the ones you have and the ones you don't, but I would prioritize getting these. As far as the only other rares in the deck, it is Mist-Syndicate Naga. Whenever Mist-Syndicate Naga deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of Mist-Syndicate Naga. Okay. So it has ninjutsu. Return an unblocked attacker you control to your hand. Put this card onto the battlefield from your hand, tapped and attacking. And notably, folks, this is putting it onto the battlefield. This is not casting it. So this gets through all counter spells and all that kind of stuff, right? Similarly, we have ninjutsu here. And ninjutsu here. This one says, whenever this specific ninja deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. It's a 4-mana 2/2, but it ninjutsus for 2. Similarly, Ingenious Infiltrator says, whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So you'll note, ninja, ninja, and ninja, we're playing something of Ninja Tribal. So the idea is, even if this one doesn't get through, it still deals damage and stuff, right? So how are we facilitating our ninjas? Well, in order to ninjutsu in, the creature has to be unblocked. So it's pretty easy, right? We're making our creatures unblockable. Mist-Cloaked Herald can't be blocked. Slither Blade can't be blocked. Changeling Outcast can't block and can't be blocked. So the idea is we attack with a Mist-Cloaked Herald or Slither Blade or Changeling Outcast, return it to our hand, and put in one of our ninjas, right? So theoretically, these on 2 and this on 3. That absolutely will punish, your opponent, right? Keep in mind, folks, this is a shapeshifter. Shapeshifter Changing Outcast, which means it is also a ninja. So specifically for Ingenious Infiltrator, whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, you get to draw cards with Changing Outcast as well, right? And these are unblockable, even when this one is blocked. So feels good, man. Similarly, as far as trying to get the rest of these through, once they're onto the battlefield, they don't have unblockable anymore, right? They can be blocked conventionally. So we have 4 Aether Tunnel. Enchanted creature gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked. We have a fair amount of removal. 4 Bloodchief's Thirst, 2 Infernal Grasps, and 4 Tyrant Scorns to clear creatures out of the way so that they can get through. And last but not least, Tetsuko Umezawa is just another unblockable creatures you control with power 1 or less, power or toughness 1 or less, can't be blocked. But, these already can't be blocked, so it's mainly just a 2-mana unblockable on its own, which is fine. The notable exception here is power or toughness 1 or less. So Tetsuko and Mist-Syndicate Naga means Mist-Syndicate Naga can't be blocked, and this is our largest damage dealer. You start getting in with this, and the game ends real stinking quick, right? Because it keeps making unblockable 3/1s, which, holy cats, very, very powerful indeed. That said, let's say we take it out for a spin, shall we? No, folks. Krulos 37 biter is our opponent here, and unfortunately, this is not a very good hand. If either of these were a blue land, this hand would be a great hand. But I am desperately worried about keeping this hand on the play when we may never draw a blue land, you know? Let's mulligan. Oh my goodness, for real? Alright, let's mulligan again. Alright, we'll keep 5. Feel absolutely terrible about it. Yeah, keep a hand with absolutely no payoffs in it. And cry. Just a little bit. No. Alright. Get in for 1. We do need to draw another land. The Mist-Syndicate Naga is a very, very good card. We are pretty happy about that. Alright. Tetsuko Umezawa is a good card. We're pretty happy about that one. That makes our Mist-Syndicate Naga always unblockable, which is very, very good. Alright, Inscription of Ruin, going to make us discard a whole bunch of cards. Hey! How about this? Mist-Syndicate Naga. Go ahead and put in another Mist-Syndicate Naga. Don't have a board sweep, Krulos? Please? We're on a mulligan to 5. We're at your mercy. Please don't. Please don't. Sorin the Mirthless. Come down, make a 2/3. Alright. Well, we're gonna do this just to make Sorin into a bit of a less threatening situation. But we've got a whole army worth of folks. And with only 8 life here, I was gonna say they've gotta come up with a land or something. Otherwise they won't be able to keep it, but they did, right? I assume they have some amount of removal, but they have to kill 2 of these Mist-Syndicate Nagas, and then they still die, unless they can, you know, unless they attack, which I assume they will. But if, I guess they could also kill the Tetsuko. Okay, that's not good enough. Because gaining 2 life just isn't enough, right? They've got to, because they go to 10. Right? Opponent gets in, goes to 10. Well, we're not gonna bother fooling around here. No BM, just get in. Okay. Well, you know, folks, that was a mulligan to 5. So, good game, I guess. GG, opponent, GG. All right, folks, here we are. I mean, this is what we're looking for, right? This is one of those hands. So, yeah, we're on the play. JPay all day. Good luck, opponent. Okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and pop down a Slither Blade here. And pass turn. Opponent has Shadow Spear. I assume this is that new, affinity style deck. So, you know, there is that. It is a very, very scary deck. Another Spire of Industry. And Esper Sentinel. Sure. Black Staff of Waterdeep. Yeah, our fears basically confirmed. Opponent gonna block here. Let us draw. They're gonna let us draw. Alright, don't mind if I do. Yes. Hey. Well, folks, I think we are going to Slither Blade anyway. Didn't want to allow them to draw a card here with the Esper Sentinel. But if they take their whole turn, activating, or most of their turn anyway, activating Black Staff of Waterdeep, and then we kill it, like, I think that's fine. Alright. Sure. Oh, they're just gonna equip? Sure. Well. Yeah, you can draw your card. Sure. Hey. Yeah. I think we're actually gonna do this just to get more damage in. Because we also have another Aether Tunnel. But it also allows us to hold on to the Mist-Syndicate Naga this turn. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was better to... Alright. Well. Yeah, let's get in. Yeah, gonna draw a card. Slither Blade, okay. Alright, opponent on 11, because they did just gain 5 life. Trying to decide if they want to untap the Black Staff of Waterdeep. They do not. So Black Staff of Waterdeep stays tapped. Esper Sentinel, well, in response to that, then we are going to Infernal Grasp. Hopefully there are no protection spells, that would be inconvenient. Well, not for this one, at least. Thought Monitor pays a couple of life. Alright. Well, then... Yeah, combat. Mist-Syndicate Naga. Draw that card, don't mind if I do. Let our Mist-Cloaked Herald back out and pass the turn. We're not particularly thrilled about our opponent being able to Black Staff Waterdeep and Shadow Spear again. But, that's still not enough right now. They need to do some more stuff. They have a lot of things they can potentially do in you know, within the context of this style deck. So, hey, we got him. All right, GG. GG. I mean, okay, folks. This is fine. Changeling Outcast, come on down. We're likely to shock this in, but, you know, we also may not. All right, sure enough. Tetsuko Umezawa, come on down. If we had drawn, you know, like just a generic island or something, we could have made the same plays, but not had to shock, you know? Well, our opponent's foretelling over there. I assume that's counter magic. So we're just going to get a whole bunch of unblockable creatures down, which is very, very real clock. This could be up against mono blue. Oh, it's mill. Oh, crud. Well, that's interesting. Well, we didn't want to draw any of those 4 lands. Good heavens. All right, well, combat. 2 blockers. Ninjutsu back a Slither Blade. Yeah, draw a whole mess of cards. That is a bit of a pain, in theory. Yeah. Let's Slither Blade anyway. Because our opponent's going to try and mill us out, right? But obviously we're not going to win without drawing out of this mess, so we're definitely happy to be drawing as opposed to not drawing, but you understand where I'm coming from, darn it. Well, combat. Let's get in. Of course, Ingenious Infiltrator, not unblockable. But that's okay, because we draw cards either way. And sure. Mist-Cloaked Herald. It resolves. Kind of surprised by that. Fairy Master of Time.
All right.
Interesting. All right. Who's ready for a good time? I think we are, Fairy. This is 7 damage. Our opponent is unlikely to allow that much to connect. I assume they're just going to phase out the Ingenious Infiltrator so we don't draw cards, which is fine. But I think we're going to get these out of the way anyway to kind of force their hand on that front. And Bloodchief's Thirst the Teferi. We're doing it this way so that if they have Spell Pierce, they can't get us. Presumably just phase out Ingenious Infiltrator. Umezawa. It's not really doing anything here. And Spell Pierce? They do have the Spell Pierce. Glad we played around it. But this is not overly surprising. Alright, so our opponent was clearly banking on being able to block this one, and they weren't disappointed, but we do still draw 2 cards, which is absolutely something we like. Tetsuko still phased out for the time being. Opponent has Maddening Cacophony for milling 8, down to 25 cards in our library. Tasha's Hideous Laughter doesn't actually get us that hard because we have a lot of 4-cost creatures that aren't actually 4-cost creatures, you know. And we're gonna kill your thing. And GG, opponent. GG. Alright, folks, and we are back. That was a lot of fun. We had a good time. As far as the games, we had some really weird ones, so you didn't get to see them all. I obviously I've just kind of recorded all this at once, so I'm not sure which ones we're gonna edit out, but we had a bunch of them that were just weird, man. Like where we had more than one win where we didn't really do anything. Our opponent just conceded. I think they thought we were playing like mono blue tempo and were tilted by it or something. So we had some wins like that, but we also had some really weird losses where, you know, we didn't draw into, you know, we keep a 2 or 3 lander and just never draw into another land. And, you know, one where our opponent just comboed off on turn 3, but like we didn't really play Magic and stuff. So I don't know. We're going to try and cobble together some entertaining editing here, or, you know, edit out some of the really weird and, I mean, frankly, boring games. This deck is a lot of fun, so having some of those really weird games makes me feel almost like I probably should have recorded maybe some more, but we recorded quite a few games, so I'm sure there's something in there, right? As far as what to do with the deck specifically, I think it was fun. We did halfway reasonable. I'm not sure what the actual end total is, because like I say, there were enough weird games that kind of lost track of how many we played. But on the whole, it played really well. I was really pleased with Changeling Outcast. It did exactly what we wanted. Admittedly, I'm not sure on our other synergies. Like, we have plenty of unblockable creatures, which, you know, I mean, 14. Tetsuko, Mist-Cloaked Herald, Slither Blade, and Changeling Outcast. One of the cards we omitted, and I almost added, was Curious Obsession. I originally didn't add it because we want to be able to bounce back our Slither Blades, Mist-Cloaked Heralds, Changeling Outcasts, and stuff. But upon further actually playing it, I think maybe this does belong, right? So putting Curious Obsession on a creature with, like, Aether Tunnel, for instance, it means any of these are just disgustingly lethal. But also, more importantly, putting it on any one of these that are already unblockable also makes it into more of a threat. It's now a 2-power creature, but it doesn't require us to have any of the ninjas. So I think this could be kind of a surrogate ninja, a little bit of it fills that role for a while, but then also later on draws us into more ninjas, which feeds more ninjas. So it's quite possible, even though I omitted this, that we might have wanted it back. As far as what to put it over, I'm not sure. Maybe over a Mist-Cloaked Herald or two. Potentially over one of our Tetsukos. So, like, maybe one Tetsuko, one Mist-Cloaked Herald. The problem is, this isn't typically very prohibitive. And, you know, we've only got 2. So, I don't know. We are already down on 20 lands. So, you know, we certainly don't want to cut any lands. But, I don't know. Maybe cutting a Bloodchief's Thirst also might not be the end of the world. I definitely wouldn't cut the Tyrant Scorn. It's very good and actually performed really well for us, so I wouldn't cut that. But on the whole, though, it did really well. I wouldn't discourage you from building it all. It was definitely fun. If this is the style of gameplay you like to play, you know, kind of a little bit aggressive, but also like to draw a bunch of cards, I mean, this deck definitely scratches that itch. As far as, like, climbing the ladder with it, I think it's a little bit of a hostile environment right now because I don't think our matchup against Golgari Sacrifice is going to be particularly good. We can get aggressive, and they can't chump block us very well because we have so many unblockable creatures, but we don't hit hard enough to really end the game in a hurry. So, you know, if that continues to show up a lot since it was in the championship, you know, maybe you might want to save it or whatever. But if you've already got some of the lands, and maybe you don't mind playing or missing out on the Mist-Syndicate Naga, like all the rest of this is commons and uncommons anyway. So it's not like you're giving up that much to be able to craft it and just see how you like it, right? So as far as would I recommend it, I think I would. So that said, I appreciate you all watching. I would appreciate it if you dropped a subscribe. We're trying to move towards that monetization thing, you know, and that requires 1,000 subs, which is a lot. It's a lot of subs. So I'd appreciate any and all help. Thank you all. You folks have a wonderful day.